Second. Okay, we are live now. I need to find out something first. I need to see if this is working on stream. I'm sorry, on Twitch, because that is literally what I was trying to do. Let me make sure that the comments pop up here. But there we go. All right. We got Hugh Hashim 47. What's going on, brother? What's up? What's up? So sorry, guys. So sorry. Today was kind of chaotic for me. I'm refreshing Twitch, but ain't got anything yet. Okay, so yeah, so sorry about that, guys. Don't worry. We're going to start soon, but I'm trying to make sure that it is also on Twitch. It just doesn't seem to be pulling up on Twitch for some odd reason. It says that I'm live. I know I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that it says that I'm live, but it ain't showing anything, which is not a good thing. That's not good. Let me see. I wonder why that is happening. It's so hard. And why is it so hard to multi-stream? Why is multi-streaming the hardest thing in the world? Guys, don't torture yourself. Don't torture yourself with multi-stream, guys. It's like literally the hardest thing ever. Literally the hardest thing ever. For some reason, it's showing me on YouTube, but it isn't showing me on... And you guys can hear me good, right? You guys can hear everything good? Yeah, you guys are good to go? All right, hold on. Let's see here. I don't get it. I do not get it. It just doesn't. This displays the chat. Preview, embedded chat, copy settings. I'm gonna have to just start the show, man. Yep, YouTube is good. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, cool. So YouTube always chilling, man. YouTube always chilling, but for some reason, Twitch is always having problems. Let's see. Stream Elements just popped up. Let's see if that did anything on my end. No, it did not. So I'm going to have to eventually at one point just start testing it, like full-blown testing it out, because for some reason it's weird. Anyways, we're gonna have to damn, that sucks. All right, we're gonna have to continue. So let me just move on to you guys. How's everyone doing? Yes, David Morales, I'm doing good. I hope everybody in here is good as well. Let me pull up the information here and make sure I see you guys. You guys can see me in good quality, right? Or is the quality poor? Okay, good quality too. All right, good. All right, so we're gonna work over that. Yep, I can hear you. Yep, YouTube is good, perfect. Never tried multi-stream, so I've got no pointers, sadly. Yeah, man, it's like, it's the hardest thing ever to make it work. To actually, like, if it ever works, I'm gonna be so happy. I'm gonna be over the moon if I could be on Twitch and YouTube, because I don't want to, give up on my Twitch audience, right? I built like 3,700 followers on Twitch. I want to give them love too, but also, of course, YouTube is the biggest spot, so we have to pay attention to that. Yendez, what's going on? Hashim, we gonna get it eventually. It's one day, one day we're gonna do it, Hashim. Hold on. Hugh Jakes, the member. Let me make sure he gets his member. I feel like I got to do this every time I see Hashim come in with the member, with the logo. We got to give it to him. The member Hashim. Hugh Jakes. What's going on, Hugh Jakes? Thank you so much for coming in, brother. Thank you so much. Yandes, perfect outcome for me is Benavidez beats Canelo, Bivol beats Beterbiev. Then we see Bivol versus Benavidez at 168, 175. Oh man, that sounds crazy to me. That sounds crazy. By the way, let's start the show. I gotta hit it with the let's start the show. You already know how we start the show here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we gotta start it with Michael.
let's get
All right, thank you very much for that, Michael Buffer. So now let's get ready to rumble. All right, so let's talk about it. So it looks like we are going to get the Benavidez versus Canelo fight. It looks like we're gonna get Benavidez versus Canelo. Now, Yandes over here says perfect outcome for him is Benavidez beats Canelo, Bivol beats Beterbiev. Then we see Bivol versus Benavidez at 168, then 175. That sounds like the most specific thing I've ever heard in my life when it comes to a boxing prediction on matchups. Very specific. Even got the weights and everything. Very, very specific. I would love that fight, bro. If that fight comes to fruition, if we indeed get this fight, which it looks like it's trending in that direction. I'll tell you why it's trending in that direction. It's trending in that direction. Well, anyways, if we get that fight, this year will be one of, if not the best years, definitely the best year in modern boxing history, right? There isn't this one big thing that we got. There's going to be multiple big fights that we get, right? Beterbiev is running through Bivol. Ooh, oh, okay. I mean, I would predict Bivol to win that fight, but I could easily see how somebody could think that Beterbiev would tear Bivol apart because he's been knocking everybody out. But let's take a look at something real quick. Let me pull this up here. Let's take a look at something real quick. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to switch over real quick to picture-in-picture so you guys can take a look at this. We got here, in my opinion, and this is Vadim Kornilov, which is Bivol's team from Bivol's team. In my opinion, I think they don't want a rematch, and they are saying that to justify themselves and make another fight like they did with Golovkin, John Ryder, and maybe Berlanga. A rematch cannot take place on the same terms as a fight you lost. It's stupid. Do you guys agree with that? Is it dumb for him to make a fight again under the same conditions, even though he lost pretty soundly under those conditions? Do you think that the conditions that were met before should be different? So they're saying it's stupid, and we're looking forward. Artur Beterbiev is our target, which, by the way, holy smokes. If Bivol goes fights Beterbiev and Canelo goes fights Benavidez, that's like best case scenario. Because them fighting each other means they're not fighting the other guys. And I'd rather they fight the other guys. That's best case scenario. Bivol to Beterbiev, Canelo to Benavidez. Perfect. All right, hold on. Let me pull you guys up real quick. Let's see. I think Canelo got one more great performance left in him. He's an all-timer regardless. 100%. Canelo's 100% an all-timer. 100%. Do I think he beats Bivol? No. There was nothing to indicate that he would beat Bivol. Do you really think that this Canelo, before he lost to Bivol, is a better Canelo than the one that lost to Bivol? This is a less confident Canelo because he already lost. He's not going in there with that confidence that was oozing out of him from before the first fight happened. He's not going in there with that. It's going to be the same conditions, so the whole weight situation is still going to be there. I'm wondering if Canelo just wants the weight situation to be there so that he could have something that he could feel is he could always kind of look at and look towards, or have his fans look towards whenever they bring up the conversation with Bivol. So he could be like, look, he was the bigger guy or whatever, instead of him coming down. Plus, he doesn't want to risk losing his undisputed titles. I think that if he's going to do a rematch, there needs to be more in it for Bivol. Bivol already proved that he could beat Canelo. He already proved that he could outbox Canelo. It's not even like he beat him. He didn't beat him by a flash knockout or beat him because he put his weight on top of him. No matter what people say, oh, of course he beat him, he's the bigger guy, blah, blah, blah. He beat him because he outboxed him. That's what happened. And trust me, I like Canelo, but he got outboxed by Bivol. Yendez, bro, I don't see why I'm seeing people say Bivol is ducking a rematch. Hold on, let's switch to my face so you guys can see all the comments. First of all, I don't know why people would be saying that. He already won. What is there to duck? He already won the fight against Canelo Alvarez. There's nothing for Bivol to duck. There was no fear of getting hurt by Canelo. He completely controlled the fight. The scorecards doesn't even really represent how dominant he was throughout the entire fight. Bivol was incredibly dominant. The scorecards do not reflect his dominance in any way, shape, or form. It just does not reflect his dominance. So there is no reason why people should be saying this Bivol rematch is solely to appease Canelo himself, right? Canelo feels that he needs his get back, and he probably feels he has so much pull in boxing, he could just make somebody delay their entire path, their individual path, right? That's that what's that called? The main character syndrome, right? Where you're the main character of your own life, right? You're the main character of your own world. To every single person, you're the main character to your own world. You're the protagonist of your own life story. So Canelo's looking at it like, listen, I need to get my rematch because I need to make sure, I clean that loss up. And Bivol's like, I don't care. I don't care if you need to get your rematch. I need to move on because there's nothing interesting here. Do you want to make it for a lower weight and put your belts on the line? If you want to do that, then that seems a little bit more interesting. Then we could talk. Do you want to up the money that you're going to give me? Because if you do, then we could talk. But if you don't want to do any of that stuff, then I'm not interested. This doesn't seem interesting to me. You get what I'm saying? Canelo is looking at it through the protagonist, thinking, I want my rematch, and not really caring about what his antagonist, which is Bivol, his own individual storyline, his own individual path that he wants to go. To him, it's a lose-lose fight. If he fights Canelo again and beats him, people are going to be like, yeah, you the bigger guy. Of course you're going to beat him twice. If he loses, it's like, oh my God, you lost to the smaller guy. Look at you. Canelo is great or whatever. He's amazing. He don't need to do that fight. That fight does not need to be done. Now, he's a beast. Bivol's a beast because his manager said, our target is better Biev. His manager said our target. He didn't even have to say that. He didn't even have to say that. But for him to say that means that is literally their target. That is literally Bivol's target. It's better Biev. We want better Biev. Because if it wasn't better Biev, he would not even mention him. That's how you make sure you don't have to deal with the backlash if you're actually not sending contracts over, if you're not reading contracts, if you're not having a back and forth with their team. Because if you say something like that, their team could be like, oh, word? You say your target is better BF. Why haven't you called us? We're trying to call you. Why aren't you picking up the phone? We're emailing you. Why are we not getting any response back? We're messaging you. What is going on? If your target is so-called better BF, why aren't you communicating with us? The fact that they mentioned that in the public space means that they are having some sort of communication, and that is the path that they want to go. Now, if they go that path, thank you and kudos, because that's the path that I want them to go, because that not only gives us a super fight in Bivol versus Benavidez, it opens up Canelo's options, or it actually closes Canelo's options and makes it that much more of a beeline towards Benavidez, because anybody else, who's he going to fight? John Ryder again? Gennady Golovkin for the 4th time? A rematch with Caleb Plant? That's going to be atrocious if we already know that Caleb lost to Canelo by knockout and lost to Benavidez, and Benavidez is right there. Not to mention, hold up, the Benavidez fight is much, much more lucrative for Canelo Alvarez. And let's switch over to picture-in-picture real quick. Much, much more lucrative. As we see reported by Michael Benson here, David Benavidez representatives are reportedly prepared to offer Canelo Alvarez a deal including close to $50 million guaranteed. We're not talking about the split. We're not talking about the split, guys. We're talking about the guarantee. Close to $50 million guaranteed for the undisputed WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO super middleweight world title fight in September. This fight, and just thinking about it, just seeing all of this fight can easily crack that mark, that 1 million pay-per-view buy mark. Easily, because we'll have the whole Mexican, American versus Mexican from the homeland or whatever, the fight of like the person from there versus the person from here, but with the bloodline of the, so you get that whole kind of Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. versus Oscar De La Hoya, right? You get that kind of vibe. Although we get it, Benavidez is not fully 100% Mexican, but you know he reps Mexico, right? He reps Mexico, so we'll get that full that experience. That's Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. versus Oscar De La Hoya experience if we get this fight, and I think. Before I was a little lukewarm on it, but now if this fight happens, let's switch over to just my face. If this fight happens, I think we get that full blown experience, and it could cross that 1 million pay-per-view buys. Now let's go ahead and look at what you guys are saying. Hold on 1 second. If those conditions include the purse split being the same as last time, then yes, it's stupid. And I do believe that it does include the purse split being the same. He turned down the Canelo fight because either way, his next fight should be for undisputed at 168 or 175. A great fighter like Bivol has the right to stand on that. Yeah, 100%. He not going to catch Bivol. That's not how Benavidez fights. He breaks you down. Watch the Vosdik fight. He beats any style, including boxers like Bivol. Yeah, no, I get it. I never said, did I say he was going to catch him? Well, what I mean is, he's a power puncher. He's a powerful guy that can get you out of there. Sometimes he breaks you down. Sometimes he flashes you, right? He just has enough power to end the fight in a knockout. And Benavidez is smart, but he does get, like, for example, when he was fighting Anthony Yarde was kind of outboxing Benavidez, but his power is the thing that always keeps him in the fight. Same thing with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder almost always can get outboxed, but his power is what always keeps him in the fight. Deontay Wilder's power keeps him in the fight. So Benavidez is the same kind of thing. He's not this super mega ultimate, boxing brain like a Bivol is. So it's going to be a boxer, like a boxer with really high IQ versus a puncher with good IQ. Right, that's going to be the difference. Is a puncher with good IQ versus a boxer with incredibly high IQ with Bivol, and we've seen that not just with how he performs in the ring, but looking at his stats. Right, he lands his jab more than anybody else. Right, he makes people miss. He's the second most punches missed in the entire sport of boxing. So he hits you and he doesn't get hit. Even though he doesn't have all these slick movements and stuff like that, he does things to keep people from hitting him, right? He controls distance very well to ensure that he can hit you while you can't hit him back. So Bivol is a good boxing brain, a masterful boxing brain, while Beterbiev is a decent boxing brain, but most of what carries him is his power. So it'll be a clash of styles if they were to fight. Yes. I didn't mean catch Bivol. I meant like catch up to Bivol. Oh, you were talking to him. Gotcha. Okay, cool. My bad. I see. I'm catching up. My fault. My boy haven't been on Twitch since Undisputed was ESBC. Yeah, man, I haven't been. But by the way, we can't talk about that. But anyways, I haven't been on Twitch, and I'm trying my best to be on Twitch. So I apologize. I'm kind of on Twitch right now, but I'm kind of not. I don't know, man. I got to figure this out. I'm going to clean it up. I keep getting closer and closer to making sure that I can multi-stream. But man, if anybody knows, if anybody has done it, please hit me up, because this thing is so hard to do. Like, I'm trying my best, but it's not working out. It's not like Haney and Loma. If someone said that Haney was ducking a rematch, I could entertain it, but no way Bivol would duck a rematch. He whooped on Canelo. Agreed. If Haney doesn't fight Loma, I can see the argument of people saying, oh, he's worried that he'll lose or whatever. I can't see the argument of people saying Bivol is worried that he's going to lose. It was like another day at the office for him. Like, it wasn't even that competitive. People think that, let's just pretend and remember that it was competitive a little bit because of the scorecards. It wasn't, bro. The scorecards were just looking at every possible way to give the megastar Canelo the rounds. But it wasn't even competitive. He had to overbeat him just to win on the scorecards. He had to beat him every single round just to win on the scorecards. Just so he could get that win on the scorecards. Came in a bit late. Yo, YouTube Boxing 6007 is all good, brother. What's going on? All right, let me see. Beterbiev is a real man down. His pressure and power will be too much for Bivol. It's completely opposite of Crawford's Spence fight. Crawford's boxing skill and power is too much for fraud man down. EJ, what makes Errol Spence a fraud? Yeah, I don't understand. I never understood these kind of attacks on individual boxers. What exactly makes Errol Spence Jr. a fraud? Is he trying to pretend he's somebody that he's not? Is he trying to pretend like he collected 3 belts, or did he actually collect 3 belts? I never understood these attacks on individual boxers. Fraud Mayweather. Fraud Mayweather, he's such a fraud. But how's he? What's the fraud that he did? He beat Mosley when he was older, and then he fought Canelo when he was younger, and then he fought Manny Pacquiao not in 2010, and then when he asked Marquez to get him at a catch weight, so and then it's like, bro, just relax. Ain't nobody being a fraud. They're just fighting the fights that make the most sense for everybody, right? Mayweather wanted Shane Mosley earlier. Shane Mosley didn't want Mayweather earlier. And then they did it when they made sense for both of them. Same thing with Errol Spence Jr. I don't think nothing makes him a fraud. He literally did everything he said he was going to do. He collected the 3 belts, and then he went after Terrence Crawford, and he negated any other options. They were trying to set up a him versus Keith Thurman fight, and that would have done decent numbers. But he said, no way. There's no point in me fighting this guy. I don't want to fight him. I want to fight Terrence Crawford. I want to beeline straight to Terrence Crawford. And I got to give him credit for that. So I don't see him as being a fraud at all, Dolphin Tom. So I disagree with you with that 100%. Yandes Bro tried that. Marcus Brown tried that. Don't matter. I don't think Artur Beterbiev ever fought anybody like a Bivol. Yarde surprised me with his performance against Beterbiev. Yeah. And that also gives me a little bit of an indicator that if somebody could box and keep it safe the entire time, and outbox, they have a chance. But you just got to be a really good boxer that rarely lets other fighters hit you. And who else better to do that than Bivol? So to me, this is an interesting fight. This is an interesting fight. I'm leaning towards Bivol winning this fight. I'm leaning towards Bivol outboxing Beterbiev. But Beterbiev is a monster. He is a beast. Man. Josh Taylor versus Tio. I got Josh Taylor winning by KO. My man said by KO. My goodness. I think Josh Taylor's gonna win by decision, but not by KO. That's kind of insane, bro. Canelo finna fight Edgar Berlanga. If he fights Edgar Berlanga, oh my God. Oh my God. Edgar Berlanga is not ready, bro. He's not ready. He's not ready. Facts, Wilder's losing to Ortiz both times before the knockout. Yeah. Wilder was getting outboxed. Ortiz is an actual, grew up in the amateur ranks, fought in the Olympics. He's one of those like gritty, like rooted since he was young boxer. And Wilder's he has the eraser. He has that eraser. Actually, Wilder also has a really good jab, which is crazy. Those are the only two things he made sure that he has. He has a good jab, so he could set up that right hand, and he could also throw the right hand naked and catch you because he's so awkward, and you're not used to the way he throws punches. You're more used to textbook punches, so that actually works in Deontay Wilder's favor. Contrary to popular belief, it actually works in his favor because he could be like, oh, okay, he'll throw a wild punch from a wild angle, from a wild spacing, and all of it hurts every time Wilder hits you. It doesn't matter if he hits your block. He could hit your block, and the amount of force that hit your block would actually still knock you down. Because this is not Street Fighter, guys. Just because you blocking don't mean you're not going to feel that force and that energy transfer through. If you're blocking and he hits you flush on it, and he has the power like Deontay Wilder has, he'll still hurt you. Who's Wilder's best win? I would have to say when he beat Bermane Stiverne for the WBC title, I think that was his best win because that showed before that, he was just a guy that just knocked out bums. That's how people considered it. Oh, you just knock out bums, man. You knock out bums. And then he fought Bermane Stiverne, and he beat him. He didn't knock him out, but he beat him. And then he rematched him. So just the whole package of him fighting Bermane Stiverne. He rematched him, and Bermane Stiverne was a high-level Haitian fighter. He rematched him and then knocked him out in the first round, solidifying 100% knockout ratio at the time of everybody he's ever fought, right? Because Bermane Stiverne, they went the distance, but he won on decision, and then they took it to the next fight, and he knocked him out in the first round. So I think his win that elevated him to becoming a serious contender, that was his best win in his entire career, in my opinion. Y'all could have a different opinion, but I do think that was his best win. Nice PFP, by the way. LOL. What? Oh, you talking about the Dolphins? You talking about Dolphin time? Miami Heat doing their thing. They won today, right? Oh, yesterday. They won yesterday. So now it's tied 1-1 against the Denver Nuggets. Let's see here. He goes 12 against small guys like Mikey and Porter and calls himself man down. Bud got 100% stopping rate at welterweight. He got 100% stopping rate at welterweight. Wilder's best wins is Luis Ortiz. LOL. Those I think that those were the most. Luis Ortiz was his most difficult fight. But I think Bermane Stiverne was his most significant fight. I think that really put him, because when he fought Ortiz, people did not have Ortiz beating Deontay Wilder. It was kind of close. It was like a 50-50. It's like, yo, Ortiz got the boxing, but Deontay Wilder, he's going to come with the power, right? But he's already proven that he could come with the power with the high-level fighters or with the elite fighters or the high-ranked fighters. So to me, that changing of the guard, that switch started happening when he beat Bermane Stiverne. referring to the nickname Man Down. I think we already talked about this. How you call yourself Man Down and go 12 rounds against Mikey, Danny, and Porter when Bud is the real Man Down 100%. Yeah. I mean, if they're looking at welterweight, then Bud Crawford, he definitely the more, especially their last 6 fights, Bud Crawford has a 100% knockout ratio, while Errol Spence Jr., he doesn't, right? He's knocked out the last 2 people from the last, he knocked out 2 people from the last 6 that he's fought. So it ain't the same. It ain't the same. Ortiz was 73 years old too. Oh yeah, that's the joke. That's the joke. Ortiz is still better than Stavern. Yeah. But see, I'm not looking Yendez. I'm not looking at it at who was better. I'm saying his best win in the sense of what was more significant for him. I don't think him beating Ortiz was more significant than him winning that world title for the first time. I really don't. I think him winning that title for the first time was incredibly significant, and that changed everything. People started looking at him differently. He was now a top-ranked fighter, and his wild, traditional style of focusing so heavily on his right hand is still... he's so good at it. He's so powerful that he could literally knock anybody out. That's what I'm trying to say. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Thank you. Aloha Bama. Hey, Aloha Fanatico. What's going on, Aloha Bama? I'm excited about the Benavidez fight. If it's really happening, this has been a great year for boxing. Absolutely. If this fight happens, this is the best year in modern boxing. Give me a better year. And I don't want to hear 2015 when Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao. That's not a better year. That's one fight. Granted, it's a mega super ultimate mega fight, but that's one fight. You know what I mean? I'm talking about give me a year where it was like every single month you getting something crazy, right? Every single month something crazy happened, and that's we have not had that in a long time. I agree. The first half of last year was crazy too. Yeah, it was, but I don't think it was crazier than this one. And New versus Fulton, Tank versus Brian Garcia. That was crazy. Loma versus Devin Haney, right? Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor. We're getting these amazing fights, man. These amazing fights. And then if we get Canelo versus Benavidez, forget about it. EJ can't even put guys on the canvas. At best, he beats up Ugas eye. Bud would drop Ugas Danny, and he did stop Porter when no one else could at welter. No one actually could stop Porter, period. Porter was unstoppable up until he ran into Terrence Crawford. So it was actually even more of a significant thing for him to do to Porter, because Porter could not lose. He would get dropped, but he would never get stopped. And Terrence Crawford was the first person to do that. So, yeah, Terrence Crawford got a lot of power. He knows how to finish you. That's the thing. He's the best finisher in the game right now. So if he gets you hurt, if he ever gets him hurt to the point where how Ugas got him hurt in that round where he dropped his mouthpiece, it's gonna be good night. It's gonna be good night. People said Wilder was ducking Ortiz. As soon as the fight got signed, Ortiz became 175 years old. Yeah. That's boxing, bro. That's boxing. It's like people, I don't know, man. The thing is, whenever, for example, before Mayweather signed to fight Canelo, Canelo was the young lion that was going to take Mayweather to school and like, he's too much energy, too much explosiveness, too much everything. Mayweather's not going to be able to deal with it. As soon as the fight started getting made, those same people start saying things like, you know what? Maybe he's too green. He's trying to get him early. He's trying to get him. It's like they want to make sure that there's no path for them to be able to give you any credit. Their agenda is not to actually truly see you test yourself. For a lot of people, their agenda is just, I don't like this guy, so I'm going to do everything in my power to push a narrative that he's not doing the thing that he's supposed to be doing to prove that he's the best. So if he doesn't fight Canelo, he's ducking Canelo. If he picks Canelo, he's he's fighting somebody that's too green. If he doesn't fight Mosley, he duck Mosley. If he finally fights Mosley, he fighting him too old. If he doesn't fight Cotto, he's ducking Cotto. If he finally fights Cotto, he fought him after Manny Pacquiao beat him. If he does, it's always gonna be a thing because the point is not to actually be like, oh, look at that, he's really doing his thing. That's never the point. The point for a lot of fans or people who are like, it's a weirdness is, I guess, hating, or people that just don't like specific boxers, or maybe they like another boxer so much and they end up hating the antithesis of that boxer, or the person that they're lining up to fight against him. For example, if you're a Benavidez fan, you'll just for some reason hate Canelo Alvarez, right? Not everyone, but that'll be a connective tissue, right? People will be like, yo, I don't like Benavidez. I don't like Canelo. And because Canelo does this, Canelo does that, Canelo does this, if you're a Benavidez fan, right? And vice versa. If you're a Canelo fan, you might talk down about Benavidez and say how he's trash and all this stuff and never give Benavidez his credit, right? That's kind of what people do. So if they wanted to see Deontay Wilder lose, they're going to say whatever they want and be like, oh, look at him. See, he ain't fighting Ortiz. He's trash. And then once he actually fights Ortiz, they're going to be like, oh, well, Ortiz is old, so of course he's going to fight him. So, yeah, it's one of those things that is damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, the whole point is not to actually find the truth. It's to gaslight, other people to not like him because you don't like him. That's all people like to do, and that's so toxic, and it's so prevalent in boxing, which is just annoying. I respect Errol Spence. I don't have to belittle him, right? Because, for example, what you're doing right here, Dolphin, and the way you're kind of belittling Errol Spence, you also, when you do that, you take away from Terrence Crawford's win. You do know that, right? Like, if Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence, you're going to say that Terrence Crawford proved that he's amazing. But someone can easily tell you, well, how did he prove if he was amazing if Errol Spence is a fraud, if he doesn't knock nobody down, if he goes the distance with Mikey Garcia, the distance with Danny Garcia, the distance with Sean Porter. He couldn't knock out Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford did. What's so amazing about Terrence Crawford beating that guy, right? So, like, you have to tread lightly. Don't, you know what I mean? Like, don't do stuff to the point where it takes away even from the fighter that you want to win the fight. Because that's what ends up happening. If Benavidez haters that hate, or if Benavidez fans that hate Canelo just belittle Canelo the whole time, when Benavidez actually beats him, how can you then turn around and say, oh, look how great Benavidez is, he beat Canelo? It's like, yeah, but Canelo, you said that he was trash. You said that he's not good. You said that he really don't do, like, he really ducked the real competition and he's getting easy wins. So I feel like with those kind of things, people got to tread lightly, because then you're going to start taking away from the accomplishments of the person you actually want to win those fights. I would never belittle somebody else. It might seem like that sometimes when I'm breaking down, but I'm just breaking down their pros and cons. Whenever I'm saying something that they have negative, is not about what they say or calling them hypocrites or whatever. It's talking about what they do in the ring and the good things they do in the ring. Because I don't want to take a win away from anybody. If Terrence Crawford beats Errol Spence Jr., that's huge. That's massive if he beats Errol Spence Jr. So, is it a hot take to say Inoue versus Fulton is the best piece of matchmaking from this year? I mean, that fight got made with little to zero resistance, but all the little guys, their fights get made with little to no resistance, because there's like no fear down there of losing. It's just like, let's just fight the best. Like, let's just try to fight the best. They don't think about it too much. Like, whatever, put the number, whatever. They don't make that much money down there, so it's not even like a big deal financially either. So it's like, yo, just, put them in front of me and whatever. Let's make the fight. In my opinion, those smaller guys, they just always sign those contracts. It's very, very seldom do I ever see like negotiations fell through for, you know, Fulton versus this dude, or Inoue versus that dude, or Chocolatito versus that. Very seldom do I see that, you know, ever happen with the lighterweights. They all fight each other. The lighterweights all fight each other. Let's see who you got. Taylor versus Lopez. I got Taylor winning that fight. I got Josh Taylor winning that fight. Good time to be a boxing fan. Absolutely, 100% amazing time to be a boxing fan. Jared Anderson versus Zan Kasabutski is underrated fight on July 1st. Both undefeated. Yeah, both undefeated, but I still want to see Jared Anderson kind of step it up a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Dolphin Tom Fanatico, do you think the ref helped EJ too much in the 6th round against Ugas? To me, it looked mad fishy. I think Ugas would have stopped him. I don't know. It's hard to tell, man. It's hard to tell in those situations because you don't know exactly what the referee is thinking. They got to make split-second decisions. I wouldn't say that I've seen anything that stuck out, in my opinion. Could you look at something and be like, maybe that's fishy? Sure, but to me, nothing really stuck out as like, oh, there's something definitely going on over here. So it's hard to say. I wouldn't personally say that he was being fishy. That's just me though. Let's see. Facts. I was convinced that Floyd was in trouble with Canelo. I was so wrong. Yeah, man. See, but at least you said you was wrong, right? There's people that be like, the same dude. Trust me, because I talked to them. The same dude that be like, yo, Canelo ain't never going to fight. Mayweather ain't never going to fight Canelo. He's too strong, bro. He's too strong for the division. And he at 154. And then Mayweather's there. He not going to fight him, man. And then he going to be scared because he's big. He don't fight bigger guys. He fights smaller guys. Remember that? Remember Mayweather never fight bigger guys? That was a big thing too. Because it was like, he don't want Margarito work. He don't want Paul Williams work. He don't fight bigger guys. He fights smaller guys. So Canelo didn't make no sense because he was a bigger guy, even though that was so dumb because De La Hoya was massively bigger than Floyd Mayweather. Even contractually, he ended up being bigger than Floyd Mayweather because Mayweather could barely make 147, let alone 154. So like, it's whatever, but. People were saying that, and those same people that were saying that, the moment it got signed and got closer, they started getting cold feet. They started getting worried that they were going to kind of be called out on their BS. So they ended up starting to backtrack and create new, a runway for an excuse. Now, granted, if Canelo would have beat Mayweather, they would have pretended that excuse that they started setting up, that never existed. Oh, I told you, remember the thing I said before I said the excuse? That's the thing that I'm really stuck with. But because Mayweather beat him, then they ended up pretending like they never said the other thing. And they were like, yo, what did I say, man? He's too green. That's how people are, man. They're like fans in boxing, because of how toxic fans are, they're very disingenuous. Very, very disingenuous. That's why when I predicted that Ryan was gonna beat Tank and Tank beat Ryan, you don't see me coming on here being like, nah, man, he knew with the hydration clause and with this and with that. And no, I gave 100% full credit to Tank. 100% full credit to Tank. That's how you gotta do it. You gotta even humble yourself in your own prediction and give the credit to the boxer. Because that's what you would want to do. That's what you would want if the guy that you like wins a fight. So just stay consistent, right? If not, we're going to be arguing back and forth forever. I don't know why boxing is that way. So much discrediting. Oh my God, that's all it is, bro. That's all it is. Discrediting here, left and right, man. First Tyson Fury ducked Usyk. Now he's ducking Zhilei Zhang. He ducks more than a black man getting arrested. Canelo outboxes Benavidez. Oh, you think? I actually might have Benavidez winning that fight. I'm not 100% on my prediction yet, but I might have Benavidez winning the fight against Canelo. I might have him winning that fight. Zayas, Boots, Anderson, Hitchens, Ford, and Keyshawn are going to be running their divisions in 7 years. Trust. Yeah, man. Xander Zayas was always one that I was like, wow, this kid, because he was so young, but he was so good. So he was really one that I was always like, yo, this dude, he been doing his thing, man. He been doing his thing. All right, let's see here. If boxing wants bigger fights, it should always go by who's more worthy, but simply what is the more popular fight. People don't care about Bivol. They want to see Benavidez. I 100% agree with that. They don't want to see a Bivol rematch when Bivol clearly beat Canelo. They want to see Benavidez because the thing is with a Benavidez fight, that's risky. Because if Canelo loses to Benavidez, there ain't no wiggle room there to be like, oh, he was big, he's bigger or whatever. I mean, they might still say he's bigger, but really he's not, right? He like, if he's bigger, then what's Kovalev, right? You went up there and knocked out Kovalev, so like you went up to light heavyweight and knocked out Kovalev. So don't give me a Benavidez is bigger than Canelo. So I wouldn't buy that, but they'll probably try to say something like that. But in my opinion, there's less wiggle room in this than there is with the Bivol fight for him to say it was because of this reason or because of that reason. Because a lot of times people want to justify why they lost, right? So they can feel that confidence, so they can keep that confidence there. And I think that if he fights Benavidez and loses, the risk of losing that, there's a lot. It will be a big hit to his confidence, in my opinion. All right. I wanted Wilder to beat Fury so bad. I was hurt after those fights. I still want to see Wilder and AJ. Me too. And it looks like we might get that Wilder and AJ. AJ was talking about fighting Wilder in December. He was even mentioning it, so it looks pretty good. I wanted to see Bam versus Sonny. Hopefully we get that. Oh yeah. Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards. Oh my God, that would be beautiful. Can't wait to see that. I'm sure they're gonna make it. Can't wait to see it. Bro, if only 122 and below got more attention. Everyone at 105, 126 fight each other. Yup. If you knew about the fighters in those weight classes, you basically be seeing the top guys every day. And not on pay-per-view for free. All the time, 100%. AP, whatever was going on, brother. Canelo ain't the same Canelo, and David is on his way up, in my opinion. But hey, it's boxing. You never know. Yeah, of course. You never know. I remember how bad I wanted Floyd to fight Paul Williams. I used to love the Punisher. That was my guy. Bro, that dude used to have, he was like Tommy Hearns. Long reach, but unlike Tommy Hearns could switch it up and hit you with the jab and keep you at a distance and box. But Paul Williams, that man did not know how to box. And by me saying he didn't know how to box, I'm not saying he doesn't know how to box in the traditional sense. I'm saying he didn't want to fight on the outside. He wanted to fight you kind of like Fedora, long and lanky, but right in your face for some reason. But he was exciting, man. That made him really, really exciting. Like Inoue, they call him a monster and he's stopping everyone. How could Inoue call himself a monster if he's going decisions most of his fights? I hear what you're saying. I get it. I'm just saying be careful with constantly belittling everything a fighter does because then you will take away from the win when it actually happens, right? You'll actually take away from the win when it takes place, because then anybody who's neutral will just look at you and be like, well, didn't you say he don't knock people out? He ain't a big deal. He don't fight like the right people. He fighting small people. He doing this. He doing that. The other side is gonna be like whatever. They're gonna be pissed, right? But the neutral side that don't care if either or, they gonna look at you like, how is this a big deal if according to you it's not? Caleb Plant said he wants nothing but big fights from here on. Win, lose, or draw, you gotta respect that. Yeah, man. He's been fighting everybody. Can we negate that Caleb Plant been fighting everybody? He's been fighting everybody. In your opinion, who wins, Beterbiev or Bivol? And do you think Benavidez could be a challenge for Bivol? I do not think Benavidez would be a challenge for Bivol. I think, yes, he'll give him a decent fight, but I think Bivol will still win. I think Benavidez, between Beterbiev and Bivol, I think Bivol would beat Beterbiev. That is my prediction when it comes to Bivol versus Beterbiev. I think Bivol will actually beat Beterbiev if and when they fight. I wanted Bivol to fight Canelo at 168 for the belts. That would be crazy, because if Bivol beat him there, wouldn't that make Bivol the WBO mandatory when he moved back up to light heavyweight? Yeah, the way it works in terms of having the being undisputed and having the franchise title and all that stuff. Yeah, it'll make him the mandatory for sure. I knew his nickname doesn't contradict his actions like Spence, though. He still dominates. Knew his nickname. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and end the stream here. I know we started a little bit late, so I went a little bit past the normal time. We'll be back again on Wednesday. I'm going to try to make sure I have everything set up, and we'll be live at 7 p.m. I apologize for today, but trust me, we're going to do our best. I'm just trying to give love to the Twitch. You can't be mad at me, bro. I'm trying to give love to the Twitch, family, right? So we're gonna try to go live on Wednesday on Twitch as well. But always, of course, we're going to be live here on Boxing Fanatico, our Boxing Fanatico live episodes on episode 23 for Wednesday and episode 24 on Friday. Now, the week following, I actually will be on vacation that week, so not going to be live that week. But the week after that, we'll be back and I will be live. So just letting you guys know so you are aware. Other than next week, same time, every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out. Always having fun talking boxing with you guys. Always. I will see you in the next one. Hopefully we get Twitch working. I'm so sorry if you came over here from the Twitch channel. I know people like to watch things on the platforms that they like. I'm hoping we get that fixed. And yeah, so basically today's video is looking forward to Canelo versus Benavidez. I don't see any other path for Canelo that makes sense since the Bivol fight is looking like it's going to fall through. I just don't see any other path. I think that this is more than likely going to be the fight that we're going to get in September, especially if Canelo wants to cement himself as the face of boxing, as a boxing powerhouse. If he fights Benavidez, that's going to be the easiest way to do that. All right, guys, until the next one, peace out. Love you guys. 1.